How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a real good day out there. We are on beginner music theory video number 3. Today we're going to focus on chord building. In the last video we covered building a scale. Now we're going to build chords off of the scale. So here is my handy dandy little chart. In the last video I said the Roman numerals at the bottom would make more sense this time around, and they're about to. So let me walk you through it. This is telling you, notice how we've got big Roman numeral, little Roman numerals. What does that mean? Big ones are major chords. So, no matter how you do this, in a major key, 1, 4, and 5 are going to be major chords. 2, 3, 6 going to be minor chords, and your 7 chord is going to be diminished. Okay? That's what that little circle there, that means diminished. Now once we start adding sevenths and crazy stuff to the chords, that circle might change a little bit. We'll get there. Now, right here, major third plus a minor third equals a major chord. Well, what's that mean? How do we get there? Okay, in the key of C, you go up in thirds. 1, 2, you don't need that guy, that's 2. You need 3. 1, 3, skip a third, 5. C, E, and G. That's a major third. That's a minor third. When you stack it that way, you get a major chord. That's what that means. Now, a lot of people refer to chord building as 1, 3, and 5. That can become problematic because 1 makes you think, okay, root of the scale. No, it's root of the chord in this. The root of a scale is 1, but when you're building chords, the root of the chord is 1. And that gets a little confusing, right? Because what if I tell you to build a chord from the D? And you're like, well, I don't know what to do. Because I'm telling you, like, well, that's 1. And you're like, 1 is right there. You see how that's a little confusing? So just think of it as successions of thirds. Major third and a minor third equals a major chord. A minor third and a major third equals a minor chord. So, starting from any position, you just go up a third, and you have that chord. Start from, the third scale position, you go up a third, you got that chord. Well, now what happens with this one, that circle, that diminished? What happens there actually is when you go B, D, F, you have diminished because it's 2 minor thirds. It's not a minor and a major. It's not a major and a minor. It's 2 minor thirds. And when you stack them, you get this real ugly sound that makes you want to go there real bad. The whole point of a diminished chord is to push into 1. They call it pushing into 1. And so that's how you build a chord. Successions of thirds. Anywhere you start here, and we're in a key. We're in the key of C. No sharps, no flats. So if you start from any one of those notes and build in thirds in the key of C, you're going to get the chord quality that I wrote down. That F chord in the key of C is always going to be a major chord. So if you start to learn this way, as you become a better performer or perform more often, you have to think less because this is already outlined for you because you've learned that, one is major in a major key, 2 is minor in a major key, and so on and so forth. If you start to learn it that way, you'll always know where to go according to the root. Now let's build a chord or two on a guitar. We'll start with E. We'll do E major. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Okay, 1, 2, 3, we're building off the E. That's our third, okay? 4, 5, that's our fifth. We know fifths on a guitar, power chord. Okay, we need that G sharp somewhere. Well, there's a G, okay. Let's throw the octave in there. There it is. That's how that gets made. Now, do you need to know how those chords are made if you know what to expect from a major key. No, you don't. In E major, you don't need to know how the E major chord was made. If you understand that in E major, the E chord is major, the F sharp chord is minor, G sharp chord, minor, A chord, major, B chord, major, C sharp chord, minor, then D sharp is going to be diminished. And then you're back to 1, major. So knowing how to build chords is very important at first, but after you learn how to build them, and just kind of the biggest thing that's awesome about knowing how to build them once we get to a certain point is not necessarily the 1, 3, 5 of the chord, because I'm hoping that as you carry on with me that you understand what I showed you earlier about, you know, what everything is. You know, 1's always major, 2's minor, 3's minor. Now you don't have to think about that. But if you know how to build in thirds, you can start adding 7s. Okay, so 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. There's our 7. Now you get this sound. It's an E chord with a major 7. We're not going to go too far into 7s today. I just want to point out that everything is successions of thirds. You keep building in thirds. You know, it's 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on as you extend out your chord. Now on a piano, you can go pretty far with it. On a guitar, you only got so many fingers unless you're a jazz player, and then you know, play all kinds of weird chords. Now, let's go back to my lovely drawing of the keyboard. Okay, take a look at this. A major third is a whole step and a whole step. Okay, a minor third is a whole step and a half step. Minor, just a little bit smaller. Major, minor. It's littler. You compress that space a little bit. So your C major chord, you got a major third, you know, up to there, plus this minor third, whole step, half step. You get that sound of a major chord. But when you change it to a minor third over a major third, it changes that quality to being a minor chord. That's how that happens. That's how that works. And, you know, successions of thirds is how you build a chord. And remember this is cyclical, right? So from C, it would go D, E, F, it would keep on. And the other way, it would just go backwards, you know, C, B, A, G. So it just keeps going that way, and you keep building with thirds, and you keep ending up with the same chords that I showed you. Those qualities in that order. So anyhow, that's our first video on chord building. There's not going to be a ton of videos on chord building. Once we start adding 7s, you know, we'll kind of revisit it. But yeah, that's how you take your major scale and get these chords. Now, you can be aware of that in your playing and think about it, or you can learn, you know, what I showed you as to what chord quality lands where, memorize that, and you just bang out them chords wherever you need them. You don't really got to think that hard. But whatever way you learn it, you know, it still at the end of the day is important to know how to get there. So that's where this stuff comes in handy too. It's nice to have, I guess what I find is the more neural connections you have to something, the more readily available it is. The more you like, okay, so I know how to stack the thirds, but I also know the quality across the scale. Now I have a fail safe. Say my brain's not working that day like it is today, and my brain's just not been firing real awesome, and everything's hard for me to explain for some reason. Then you have a fail safe. You got another route to get there in case things go wrong on you. So anyhow, like, subscribe, share, please. I much appreciate that. Get your friends to watch the videos, laugh at my face, whatever you want to do. Have a good day. You're going to do awesome.